boy, Captain Hunter, coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning into this particular show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As promised, I'm going to try to get to more situations involving law enforcement, police-related issues, things like that. And we got a good one for you today. And it's going to be coming from America's worst mayor. And I'm not just saying that, but this is the article from the Daily Mail. America's worst mayor, Tiffany Henyard, dropped by a law firm that are representing her against a mounting lawsuit. She's not been paying us. We're going to read through the article. If you don't know who Miss Tiffany Henyard is, this is a picture of her. She is the mayor of a town. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Somewhere outside of Chicago, Dolton. She's somehow the mayor of a town as well as the supervisor of a county, something along those lines. Collecting 2 paychecks, very well paid, and she was elected into office, or somehow there's some kind of controversy over her stepping into the position, whether, I don't know, she was elected into the office or she was the assistant and somebody stepped down or something along those lines. So I wanted to kind of focus in on that. Somebody asked me about my opinion about it. So listen, I need to get back to this, and I've been so busy with so many other things that I'm going to try to get back into it, make sure I post regularly or routinely about law enforcement issues. So let's dig into this lady, Miss Tiffany Henyard. Now, I come from a place, a city. If I told you the city, you could look it up and see all the different scandals that we've had within our own political system within the city that I live in. And for a while, when I was a member of the police department, we would say, we would think our cars were bugged, and we wouldn't, don't talk too loud about what we said in the office or in the break rooms or even inside the police cars, because we thought that the government, the FBI, was listening to us because they had taken down so many other people, and they just thought it was just a system of corruption, right? The politicians are corrupt. The department heads are therefore corrupt, and the department heads are therefore hiring corrupt individuals or becoming corrupt as a part of the process, all kind of different stuff. And as a matter of fact, my book, when I wrote my book, that is still available on lulu.com and Amazon as well. When I wrote my book, people, were looking for me to talk more about the inner workings of the police department. They were kind of disappointed. People called me up and said, "Oh, I wanted more stories. I wanted more stories." So I'm actually considering writing another book just about the stories that went on. So, but anyway, I plan to do a revised version of my police reform book. I plan to change a lot of things about it to give a more updated thoughts about police reform. I'm considering writing another book about just what was going on in the police department, and all that. But people were very disappointed that I didn't have more stories about that. But we had things that were going on within the police department, or politically, I should say, that were casting a shadow. So this situation that Ms. Tiffany Henyard is going through, I can certainly identify or understand some of the problems that are going on. And I don't know if it's going to be in any articles I'm going to cover today, but I do know that the other people have done a vastly better job. Well, they've done a good job, not better than I'm going to do, but they've done a good job as representing the problems and the intertwining of politics in the police department. And those were initially and conceptually never supposed to be. Now, I teach criminal justice history, and law enforcement, whether it's military or whether it is modern day law enforcement, where there's supposed to be separation between the military and the police, has always been intertwined with politics. It is the way that it is, right? The way that the political establishment enforces their will is through the police department. And, so you got to get on and all that. That's a story for another time. But Miss Tiffany Henyard and her police department, she has been hiring them, paying them overtime, all kind of different allegations in order to protect her. Now, some of the things that were happening to her necessitated her getting some type of protection. I don't think she should have done it on the police department's dime, 100%. I have to think about that. Where I want to fall down on that. Should she have hired private security if she was getting death threats because of her political position? Maybe the police department should have covered that. I don't know. That's something to discuss another time. But anyway, so all this stuff was going on. So America's worst mayor, Tiffany Henyard, dropped by a law firm that was representing her against mounting lawsuits, alleging that she's not paying. Hope you guys can all see this. We'll scroll through this. I'll try to make this a little bit bigger here. Yeah, try to make it a little bit bigger there. The law firm representing the woman dubbed America's worst mayor has vowed to stop defending her in court. The Delgado law firm is asking to withdraw from the case in which it represents Tiffany Henyard in the village of Dolton, Illinois. In a letter to Henyard and trustees, the firm said the village is approaching, why is this not capitalized, is approaching the point of becoming uninsurable. It faces millions of dollars in judgments from earlier cases and could potentially be required to shell out millions more in the coming months. So what this is saying is that the village that she represents, I don't know if it's village really means county, it's a city. I'm not exactly sure about all that, but it's becoming uninsurable. So any who do not understand, anytime police departments are sued or school boards are sued or whatever, they cover the cities generally, or towns and counties generally have their own insurance. In other words, it's the taxpayers that are paying it, right? They don't hire an insurance company to front them millions of dollars. They usually take it out of the tax coffers or the budgets, et cetera, in order to pay these judgments against, when the police use excessive force, when the school board acts inappropriately, or there's potholes or whatever. So that's the methodology that they use. So what the Delgado law group is saying is that we can't represent you because you're not going to be able to pay us. You're not it seems as if they're not paying you. They're not going to be able to pay you because you're going to be so burdened with $1 million lawsuits that we're not going to get our money. So they're filed, is asking to withdraw. That means that they're talking to the courts and making sure that the court gives them permission to stop representing them. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to chime in on that. To add insult to the firm to injury, the firm has allegedly not been paid for its work. The board of Dolton, recently voted to stop paying our legal bills, reads the letter provided to Daily Mail. We are, of course, not required to work for free and decline to do so. They're not going to represent it for free. And the board, being the board of Dolton, has said we're not going to pay for this kind of crazy nonsense that's going on here. So I want to close some of these, some of the stuff I got going on here. Let me close some of these so I can close some of my bandwidth here. Yeah. Hopefully that makes it a little bit less choppy there. All right. I guess the firm headed by senior partner Michael Delgado says it has not been paid and warns that the village is nearing the point of being uninsurable. That's exactly what I was talking about. Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot was hired to investigate claims against Henyard, who is accused of misusing taxpayer funds, wrongful termination, and covering up sexual assault. I did not know about that sexual assault case. I got some digging in I got to do here. The firm announced that it would no longer be entering any appearances or defending newly filed cases. It would withdraw from an additional 19 cases effective May 8th. 5 of the cases involve serious injury or death, including 2 jailed by suicide hanging cases, and 2 officer-involved shooting wrongful death cases of action. Wow. No one wants to represent the village, the firm continued. The village already has a $33.5 million judgment against it that previous administration and the board ignored, pleased to settle within policy limits, where the village's best hope is that the jury verdict will be reversed on appeal. If that is unsuccessful, the village will owe more than $20 million in excess of insurance policy limits on that case alone. According to the firm, Dolton is quickly approaching the point of being uninsurable due to its immense debt. In addition to her entanglement in the village legal affairs, Henyard, 40, is the subject of 22 lawsuits regarding her conduct. She faces a slew of accusations ranging from misusing funds while Dolton slides deeper into debt, to wrongful termination, to covering up a sexual assault, sexual misconduct by a village employee. I'm going to have to look into that because I was not aware of that. So here, people have been calling her city girl mayor. I might have the okay. And another lawsuit, a former employee claims she was sexually assaulted by Dolton Village trustee Andrew Holmes during a trip to Las Vegas, which was largely funded by taxpayer money. I did not know about that. Henyard, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was tapped to investigate claims against Henyard, and the case even attracted the attention of the FBI. On Friday, the agency FBI, served subpoenas on Thornton Township, where Henyard also serves as township supervisor. I'm assuming that's, yeah, some type of county mayor, county supervisor, leader, headship. Among mounting tensions, dozens of residents rallied in nearby Calumet City on Saturday afternoon. One demonstrator held a poster proclaiming Thornton Township belonged to us. Among the nearly 24 lawsuits are cases brought by 3 former employees who claim they were wrongfully fired. The plaintiffs' names are Samazia Williams, former director of building permits and licenses for the village of Dolton; Sandra Tracy, former human resources manager for Thornton Township; and Karen Johnson, former Dolton Public Works Department administrator. In one instance, the mayor asked for Tracy for a list of town employees, which notes detailing all their faults and any known dirt on them, including information which may have violated the employee's privacy rights, according to documents reviewed by the Daily Mail. Drop down a little bit. A former village employee claims she was sexually assaulted by Holmes during a work trip to Las Vegas. She and a police officer alleged they were fired after informing Henyard of the allegations. The woman asserted she began to feel disoriented and blacked out during the trip and has no memory of one night after that until waking up fully dressed in Holmes' bed. A different lawsuit that accuses Henyard of misusing taxpayer funds also centers around the ill-fated Las Vegas trip. So these people have a lot of problems here. I was not aware of the sexual assault. Let's check this out. America's worst mayor is accused of covering up staffer's sexual assault by a colleague who paraded her naked body on a work video call after she blacked out during taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas. The woman, dubbed America's worst mayor, has been accused of trying to cover for a trustee who allegedly sexually assaulted another employee on a work trip to Vegas. Dolton Democrat mayor, I threw that in there, right? 40 faces a litany of investigations over claims of corruption, sexual harassment, and retaliation against political opponents. Look at that. They got a picture of Donald Trump underneath it. Democrats here and then Donald Trump underneath. In the latest lawsuit, Henyard is accused of attempting to protect Dolton trustee and community activist Andrew Holmes after he was accused of sexual assault. The alleged victim claims Holmes assaulted her before parading her naked body on a video call to Henyard's security officer after a conference, May 26, 2023. The officer alerted Henyard, but she responded by demoting him to patrol duty and firing the alleged victim, per the lawsuit. Holmes vehemently denies the claims. Yeah, who's this guy? In a lawsuit, Henyard is accused of attempting to protect Dolton trustee and community activist Andrew Holmes after he was accused of sexual assault. Holmes' picture denies the claims. And this is, there's Joe Biden there. What's up with this picture? That is not a good look right there. I mean, wow, that's almost within 6 inches of interpersonal space there. That's not a good look, man. Anyway, let's see. In a civil suit filed with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, the alleged victim says she began to feel disoriented and blacked out during the trip. She says she has no memory of the night until after waking up fully dressed in Holmes' bed, according to the documents by the Chicago Tribune. Meanwhile, Henyard, former security officer, who is the second plaintiff in the suit, said Holmes launched a disturbing video call with him that same evening. He said Holmes appeared intoxicated and showed the alleged victim partially undressed in his Nevada hotel during the call. Holmes moved the camera to various private areas of the employee's body, displaying them on screen, and at times moving or removing articles of clothing as he transmitted images according to legal documents. Good Lord, what is... The security officer said Holmes later told him the sex was unprotected, and the officer relayed this information to the alleged victim. They had a meeting with Henyard to recount the events of the night, but instead of investigating the claim, she fired the alleged victim, according to the lawsuit. The security guard was also seemingly punished for whistleblowing. He was demoted to patrol duty just days later, per the complaint. On top of this, he was subject to criticism, unlike his peers, for various behaviors, and was told to avoid Holmes and Henyard at work events. The lawsuit seeks civil remedies and compensation for the alleged assault and battery of Holmes and retaliation against Henyard. Yeah, listen, this is so Lori Lightfoot has been called to do this. Is this Holmes even has a criminal past and a mugshot, having been arrested and charged with criminal trespass of 2 vehicles in 2016? Oh Lord, they are just all over this lady. They are just all over this lady. So I'm assuming Lori Lightfoot has got some investigative background. She's probably a lawyer. I don't know anything about Lori Lightfoot. Let's see. Chaos. Another story here. This is from ABC Chicago. Try to get this all on screen here. ABCChicago.com. Chaos erupts at Dolton Village board meeting as angry residents call for mayor to step down. The meeting was scheduled let's see. Ask Dolton residents. Many will say that the bi-monthly municipal meetings run by Mayor Tiffany Henyard have become regularly scheduled spectacle. The increasingly irate residents arrived plenty early for their first of the month meeting on Monday, circumventing what they say was a spontaneous blockaded street guarded by village paid police officers. The doors of the Dolton Village Hall never did swing open to the public. The meeting was scheduled to start at 6:30. Instead, village residents clamored against the double doors, tussling and even navigating security screening for a highly coveted seat in the public meeting where it seems like unpaid bills and payroll was supposed to be the topic of discussion. 30 minutes after the scheduled time, about 7 p.m., the village hall began to let people in one by one, but kept many out. Entering the last moment, Henyard took her seat on the dais to preside over the board meeting. Due to credible threats to the meeting tonight, if there are any outbursts, if we get any credible threat, the meeting will be closed, said Lewis Lacey, Dolton Police Department. Henyard and 4 of Dolton's trustees have asked for federal investigations around handling of village affairs and have been on for months. So they want her to step down. What else is going on here? She vetoes a resolution calling for a suspending of investigation.
Good morning. The mayor last night blamed the media as well as the Board of Trustees for creating chaos in the village. She did admit to a $2 million budget deficit. However, trustees say it's really millions more. Mayor Tiffany Henyard last night wasting no time shutting down trustees and critics.
The veto message is related to the secret squirrel meetings, yes, that the Board of Trustees have.
During an emergency meeting late last month, the board unanimously passed a resolution that calls for a federal investigation into the mayor and demanding the village's financial records be made available.
Stop creating chaos in your village.
The board vowed to override her veto and said they have the votes to do it.
The mayor can blame everybody for what's going on, but she has to look at herself. Nobody told her to get on TV and lie like that.
The trustees referring to a WGN Investigate story, which focused on her use of taxpayer money, not only as Dolton's mayor, but as Thornton Township supervisor and her charity.
Only judge when you got both sides of the story, not one-sided narratives, which is negative narratives in the media.
The village, under Henyard's leadership, moving media at last night's meeting to the back of the room, nearly out of sight of people speaking during public comment. But their message to the mayor was heard loud and clear.
You lied to us as residents. You do not stand for me. And I want you to step down as mayor today and save our village from this deficit that you have caused.
Now the board plans to try and override the mayor's veto at next month's meeting. We're live in the newsroom. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
So that's that article. Let's see. I think I got something else up here. This is another Dolphiner named. Okay, she's Dolton Tiffany.
Now, present day.
Let's see. Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard named in latest FBI subpoena, records requested. This is yesterday. So let's take a look at this here.
Concern of mine. I'm happy that justice is being served.
Dolton trustee Brittany Norwood reacts to the latest federal subpoena served Monday at Dolton Village Hall, asking for all payments, expense reimbursements, per diems, and credit card expenditures for Mayor Henyard, beginning just before her election in 2021.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the People's Mayor and People's Supervisor.
The same information is also requested for Henyard's top assistant, Keith Freeman, and a pair of businesses controlled by Freeman, as well as several trustees and village employees who've traveled with Henyard. The subpoena also shows the FBI is looking into complaints by Dolton business owners whose licenses have been held up by the village, asking for licensing information for 10 bars and restaurants, including 2 that were raided and closed by Dolton police in February, Rinky's Bar and Pablo's Cafe and Bar, after Fox 32 visited those businesses to ask about their owners' frustration.
It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
And it's clear the feds are focusing on all the expensive out-of-state travel by Henyard and her crew, including first-class plane tickets, asking for travel records for all trips, but specifying Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and Portland, Oregon.
They're questioning the finances because that's been a real big concern of mine as a board member. We've been wondering how the money is being spent.
Mayor, why do you need so many officers, details, or your security? Last year, Fox 32 reported on Henyard's pricey police security detail, with Dolton officers working thousands of hours of overtime to drive the mayor around and sometimes run her personal errands. Well, the FBI took notice, asking for shift records for a number of officers assigned to that detail, including Officer Terry Young, who last May reported working 303 hours over a 2-week period. When we asked Henyard about it, Mayor, mind if I ask you a couple questions about your security detail?
Absolutely not.
I'm asking her.
Yeah, she said no.
And the subpoena request records for Henyard's self-named charitable foundation, which, as we reported last year, used Dolton employees and vehicles during a fundraising march to Springfield. Trustee Norwood says the FBI subpoena is targeting information that even board members have not been able to access.
I'm happy that it seems like the residents will eventually get the answers to the questions that they've been asking.
In all, the FBI has served a total of 5 subpoenas over the past 2 weeks on Dolton and Thornton Township, where Henyard also serves as supervisor. This latest subpoena gives Dolton officials until May 20th to turn over the requested records to the federal grand jury. Dane Placco, Fox 32, Chicago.
This lady has some serious
problems. Wherever you live throughout Chicagoland, there's a Four Seasons trusted local expert nearby ready to help. Our experience.
I think that's it for that. And I think the other one, no one wants to represent. I read that story already. So listen, this lady has some serious problems. I don't really want her to go down like that, but she's got some serious things that she has to deal with. And there's been plenty of other videos out there, people putting out there the type of lies that the guy in the video alluded to and things along those lines. So, and all that. So this is America's mayor here, America's worst mayor, super mayor. So my thoughts
Dad,
are we got
weather's
just like
changing.
everything
We
else.
stopped 4 seasons to get the AC tuned up. Yeah, Dad, that AC is older than me.
You're not.
Just saying.
And things popping up here in the background. This is the problem when you try to watch, news and stuff. So this is her. This is the issue she's got going on. Everybody's innocent till proven guilty in the U.S. So we'll just kind of follow the story, see where it goes, and all that. I think I'm going to use this as a screenshot here for my video presentation. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Is this a witch hunt? They just mad. She has maintained that they are only doing this because she is a black woman, and I'm gonna print screen right here. She's only doing this because they're a black woman, and whatever else has got going on. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, your opinions about this? And let me know what you think, and we'll keep the conversation going. We'll keep an eye on this. Much love and peace, everyone.